Around 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene epoch, a creature lived in what is now the forests of Colombia, one that could grow up to 15 meters long and weigh over 1 ton. Official history tells us that it went extinct 60 million years ago. Its fossils tell the legend of the largest snake to ever exist. But what if it's not just a legend? What if, even today, it silently glides through the untouched labyrinths of the Amazon, deep within muddy rivers' waters where no human foot has ever stepped? Stories told by indigenous tribes, cryptic notes in the lost journals of explorers, and those blurry images circulating on the internet. Are these nothing more than superstition, or could they be evidence that the giant we call Titanoboa never truly disappeared? Is the truth hiding somewhere beyond the limits of science, deep in the darkness? Today, we follow the trail of this ancient secret and dare to ask the question, could Titanoboa still be alive? To find the answer, we will dive into claims rejected by science, eyewitness accounts, and the darkest legends. Get ready, because this will not be an ordinary documentary. First of all, we must state that this video was prepared by separating undiscovered regions and unknown animals from speculation. Enjoy the watch. Humans have a natural tendency to exaggerate what is unknown and dangerous. In a mysterious and difficult to explore region like the Amazon, the idea of a giant unknown snake is both terrifying and fascinating. That's why it has been told and amplified for years. Especially when we consider the real animals of the Amazon, creatures whose diversity alone fuels exaggeration. The green anaconda, which lives in the Amazon, is already one of the largest snakes in the world. It can reach 6 to 7 meters in length. In water, its thickness appears even greater. This natural gigantism makes eyewitness accounts easy to exaggerate and keeps Titanoboa rumors alive. Documentaries, YouTube videos, and clickbait headlines frequently claim giant snakes spotted in the Amazon. Even without solid evidence, curiosity exists, and that curiosity prevents the rumor from ever truly dying. Of course, indigenous accounts and stories claiming such encounters also keep this legend alive and sustain the constant question of what if? However, there is a serious timeline problem here. Titanoboa lived 60 million years ago. Humans arrived in the America at the earliest 20 to 30,000 years ago. That's a gap of nearly 60 million years. So a direct human encounter with Titanoboa is biologically impossible. That said, we can't call these legends completely false. Their origins are most likely real, but not supernatural. Giant anacondas, massive caiman crocodiles, deadly swamp conditions, and river floods. Humans transform these real dangers into supernatural figures such as the master of the river or the spirit of the forest. This isn't pure fabrication. It's the mythological reflection of real ancestral threats. Dense fog, muddy river water, shadow play created by vegetation, and partially visible objects on the water's surface create perfect conditions for optical illusions in the Amazon. For example, an anaconda may show only 4 to 5 meters of its body above water, while the rest remains buried in mud. The human brain completes the image and assumes there must be more. This alone can make a snake appear twice its actual size. Water refraction also makes submerged objects appear larger and thicker. A 40 centimeter thick anaconda can easily look as wide as a tree trunk to someone watching from shore. This is why Amazonian eyewitnesses are often correct about the presence of a snake, but exaggerated when it comes to size. No one measures an animal swimming 5 meters away with a ruler. A 7-meter snake can quickly become 12 meters in a retelling. Psychology plays a role too. When a person encounters danger in the jungle, adrenaline spikes. Time slows down, objects appear larger, and distances are misjudged. This naturally inflates giant snake stories. Now, I can almost hear you saying, if such a massive creature existed, it would definitely have been clearly filmed, and all existing footage is blurry. But what if I told you that aside from deliberately exaggerated viral clips, those blurry images might actually be exactly what real footage would look like? Let me explain. The Amazon is vast, with muddy river systems everywhere. Extreme humidity, low light, dense vegetation, moving water surfaces, and areas that disturb drone GPS signals are common. Under these conditions, capturing clear footage is often physically impossible. In short, the Amazon is hell for cameras. From above, shadows grow larger, ripples elongate shapes, and tree roots or submerged logs resemble snakes. And thanks to viral culture, the human eye becomes eager to find monsters in unclear images. Just like seeing faces in clouds, we see giant snakes in ambiguous frames. So, a wave becomes a giant snake, a log becomes a river monster, a shadow in water becomes a 15-meter creature. This is a classic case of pareidolia, and unexplored regions only amplify it. Yes, there are still undiscovered areas in the Amazon, many of them. Dense forests, swamp regions, complex river networks, valleys untouched by humans, and areas even satellites struggle to image clearly still exist. Every year, scientists discover new spider species, birds, mammals, and reptiles. For example, a new position dark frog species discovered in the Peruvian Amazon. Scientific name Renitomia huata. Just a few millimeters long, living in bamboo forests. Another related species discovered in the Brazilian Amazon. Renitomia aterea, aquamarina. A new tiny fish called Paleocene rex found in the Colombian Amazon, living among underwater roots with a wing-like organ never seen before. A nuanced species, Nisomrex vacuisia, discovered in the Ecuadorian Amazon. Although these are scientifically documented, but notice something important. None of them are giant vertebrates. That's where the argument changes. Large animals leave traces. Footprints, droppings, sheet skin, prey remains, thermal signatures. There is zero evidence of this. Large animals reshape ecosystems. If Titanoboa existed today, if presence would be impossible to miss in river systems. A species cannot survive for millions of years without hundreds of individuals. A hidden population of one-ton snakes is simply unrealistic. And most importantly, not a single new Titanoboa fossil has been found in 60 million years. Maybe one day, as technology advances and exploration expands, we will revisit this topic with new evidence and create another documentary. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. Support us as we explore these fascinating mysteries. So, why doesn't science take this more seriously? It's not a conspiracy, it's a methodological issue. Science requires three things: direct physical evidence, repeatable observations, data consistency. Titanoboa has none of these today. That's why the scientific community says no evidence means no claim. There is no cover-up. In fact, such a discovery would be one of the greatest achievements in scientific history, bringing massive prestige, funding, and even Nobel-level recognition. There is simply no logical reason to hide it. Some speculative researchers suggest Titanoboa could live in deep ocean trenches or underground Amazonian river systems. But Titanoboa was a land-based constrictor, breathing air and not adapted to salt water. Even if a massive snake existed today, it wouldn't be Titanoboa. It would more likely be an unusually large Anaconda variant. Evolution also works against this theory. The Paleocene was far hotter than today's Amazon. To survive now, Titanoboa would need a slower metabolism, less food, and greater cold tolerance. That means shrinking, not growing. At that point, it wouldn't be Titanoboa anymore. Science remains cautious because of Lazarus species. Coelacanth, thought extinct for 66 million years, found alive in 1938. Laotian rock rat, rediscovered in 2005. Lord Howe Island stick insect, rediscovered in 2001. Because of cases like these, science never says impossible, only unsupported. As for the idea that governments or military forces are hiding Titanoboa, in theory, anything is possible. In practice, hiding a 15-meter, 1-ton animal will be nearly impossible. Too many people, institutions, and experts would be involved. Leaks would be inevitable. Even Area 51 leaks information, so Titanoboa certainly would. In popular culture, the 2012 documentary Titanoboa Monster Snake by Smithsonian Channel played the biggest role in reviving interest. With CGI reconstructions, paleontologist interviews, and explanations of its massive size, Titanoboa entered global pop culture. That same year, the Smithsonian Institution unveiled the 14-meter Titanoboa sculpture at Grand Central Terminal in New York. Although it's no longer on permanent display, touring exhibits still exist. From January 31, 2026 to September 14, 2026, Titanoboa will be featured in the Giants exhibition at the National Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh. So, dear mystery hunters, we have reached the end of another video. Titanoboa remains one of the Amazon's deadliest mysteries. As long as the Amazon continues to be explored, new witnesses, new blurry videos, and new claims will keep emerging. This mystery may never truly end because Titanoboa has become a modern myth representing the dark side of nature. And if one day you hear that explorers searching for Titanoboa vanish deep in the swamps, don't be too surprised. Until next time, goodbye.